Hi there. I care and you matter. I'm Shannon and welcome to another Talk Tuesday video, and it has been way too long. Today is July 7th, 2025, and I'm probably going to be uploading this tomorrow morning. I'm going to give myself some time this afternoon to edit. But I just wanted to jump on here because it has been far too long. And I apologize if you hear anything in the background. I've got one of those little room air conditioners going. It is a hot, hot day here in the Pacific Northwest. I do not have central air, but I have some fans and one of those little room air conditioner things going. So hopefully trying to stay comfortable before it really heats up later this afternoon. But I wanted to catch you up on some things. I took a couple weeks off. I had a few videos that I had already recorded and edited and trickled out over the last couple weeks. And that may continue to happen for a few more weeks to come because, oh my goodness, so much has happened. Good. And I don't want to say bad, but stressful would be the right word. Our adult son, who's just graduated from the University of Washington with his bachelor's in chemistry, landed a very prestigious internship at a national laboratory, which means I have to move him. We have to move him several hours away, and we have to do that next Friday. And so it happened very quickly. He interviewed on a Friday, and by Tuesday morning, they had called and offered him the position, which is great because unfortunately here in the United States, with the current state of things, a lot of research opportunities and funding have all but dried up. So we feel very fortunate for Nate, but it's happening very, very quickly, and it's a huge change for our family. Yeah, because Nate's moving out for the first time. Not only that, outside of my husband, Nate is the only one who really gets our other son, Mark, who has a mountain of special needs. We adopted Mark when he was about three and a half. Started the process when Mark was 5 months old, but the whole adoption process, it was international, took over 2.5 years. So yeah, that's another story for another video. But so not only am I don't want to say losing my Nate, but I guess the very practical help that Nate offers to our family, and he's going to be missed tremendously, but I'm so excited for him. But oh my goodness, it is so expensive to relocate a kid and to set them up in an apartment for the first time. And albeit this internship is paid, not a whole lot, but he does get an hourly pay and a housing stipend. But where he's going is essentially in the middle of nowhere, and so it's quite expensive because housing options are limited, and yeah, it's expensive. So yeah, it's been stressful. So I've been going through that, but I've also really been going through where do I want my YouTube channel to go? What do I really want to offer? What is my niche? What is important to me to share? And it's interesting because, for lack of a better way to put it, it's very clear to me, but I guess I'm not quite sure how to package it, if that makes sense. So let's just put it all out there. If you don't want to listen to a chat video, choose one of my other videos to watch. But I'm just going to kind of verbally process and share with you what I've been thinking and what I've been mulling over the last several weeks. And it's been interesting because it's been very disjointed because I've had to compartmentalize my efforts. Mark still needs time and care and supervision and all that good stuff, who also went through another medical procedure. So yeah, that was fun. Now Nate's needing my help more than ever as he sets up bill pay and gets ready to have a monthly budget for the first time. So yeah, that's been a lot. And then also meeting my personal needs. And I'm one of those kinds of people, I am not happy unless I'm working on a project, a personal project. I have work. I also work as a curriculum writer. But I need to have a personal project that I feel completely 100% invested in. I feel passionate about because that's my stress reliever. I enjoy that. I enjoy being creative and exploring different avenues to share and communicate with others. I think that's the former teacher in me. I loved teaching, and I had to leave the classroom. I always assumed I would go back after my kids were, of an old enough age. But that never happened because I couldn't. Mark needed me. Even when Mark was in school, I was constantly called for medical emergencies or behavioral issues. And so I never got to return to the classroom, but there's still that need in me to be a teacher, to share information. And I do truly believe that's one of my strengths is expository writing and connecting with people through the written word and hopefully now through video. But getting back to, so I've been thinking about what are my personal interests? What am I passionate about? And it's interesting because where I work, and I'm not going to share that because I want to keep some of this private. We just had a email go out asking for our opinion of AI in the workplace and how we intend to be using it and advocating for it, and just our personal opinions on it. Oh, talk about handing me a soapbox. As a individual, as a former teacher, former classroom teacher, educator, as a former school administrator, as a current parent to a typically developing child, as a parent to a neurodivergent child, and as a creative myself, it scares me. It scares me because I feel like we're just jumping, head first into all this AI stuff without taking pause and thinking about being critical consumers of it. Yeah, that scares me. And not only that, I feel like it is, I don't want to say jeopardizing, but taking advantage and really striving to take the place of human creativity. And sorry, my personal opinion is AI is nothing more than a conglomerate of information and creative works from humans that it's scrubbed or have been fed or has learned from, and then it creates its own original work, which is not truly original because all it can do is copy. It can't think on its own. It can learn, it can look for patterns, it can gather, it can sift, and it can produce something. But so for example, looking at using AI for human connection, which is out there. We're starting to see it. I hate these AI bots or even on the phone. It's like, can you get off the script, please, and just listen to what I'm saying and then answer me? Oh, good Lord, that's a frustration of mine. But what I'm getting at is it can mimic human connection. It can simulate it. It is not authentic. It is not actual. And I'm not saying AI isn't useful. No, it's here to stay. I use AI. If you use grammar check, spell check, that's AI. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite here. There is a use, but I advocate for responsible usage, being critical consumers of it, of use of it, and being aware of a whole different level of deception. We're getting to the point where AI is so good at simulating things, it can be difficult if you're not looking and consuming with a critical eye to determine if what you're seeing is actually real or is it just created by AI. And that scares me because it's copying it, by it I mean AI, is copying and simulating human voices. There is a thing right now, virtual influencers. Actual people are using AI to create AI generated influencers to populate and to make money off of these AI influencers on social media. That scares the crap out of me. Why? Because don't we already have enough mental health problems, especially in younger people? Don't we already have enough issues with younger people looking at things like Instagram and even here on YouTube and seeing a curated snapshot of somebody's life and thinking that something's wrong with their life because it doesn't measure up to that curated snapshot in time when you're not seeing everything else that went on behind the scenes? It scares me because we're also having social, emotional issues and challenges, especially in younger children, as a result of the pandemic that happened several years ago. Why? Because they missed the connection, the face-to-face interaction between humans. Whew, okay, I'll step off my soapbox. And so I'm sure I came off as the old fogey at work. I guarantee you that. And I'm pushing 50. I'll call a spade a spade. But you know what? My age and my experience also, gives me the wisdom to know, hey, wait a minute. We can accept what AI, the tools and the opportunities AI provides us, but also to hold it with open hands, right? And I feel like with all things, there's this pendulum, and we get on the bandwagon, and it's AI is great, it's great, it's great, and we're at that end of the pendulum right now. And eventually, I think it'll swing back the other way before we get to some happy medium. And so I'm thinking, what can I do in light of that? What can I do about my passionate feelings in light of AI, which is currently, it's infiltrating everything. It's like, oh, I keep trying to uninstall Copilot, and yeah, you can turn it off, but I've even gone into the BIOS and tried to turn it off. But anyway, it's here and we can't escape it. And so I guess I want to create my own form of push the other way. How can we exploit and leverage and cultivate and foster authentic intelligence being human intelligence? And what is human intelligence? Emotional intelligence, creativity, critical thinking skills. And then I let that simmer for a little bit, and then I got a little frustrated, and I thought, well, who am I? Who am I to share anything on that topic? Yeah, I'm a former teacher, but I don't have any credentials. And then I sat on that for a few days, and I thought some more about it. And I thought, what am I good at? And this is going to be really, really, oh, I hope I don't tear up. I'm really good at surviving, and I'm good at making solutions and making situations better when there isn't necessarily a light at the tunnel. And I am really, really good at looking at situations and knowing what I don't want in order to use that for direction to figure out where I want to go. Did I have any role models growing up? I have a lot of ACEs, which stands for Adverse Childhood Experiences. And without getting too deep into that, because I don't like to think about my past. I don't like to dwell on it, because if you're looking back, well, you shouldn't look backward, right? You don't want to go that way. Don't go running back to what hurt you. But I do like to visit it from time to time, because I'm thinking, I know other people who haven't been as fortunate as I have to successfully claw their way out of a bad situation. And so I've really tried to be self-reflective about how did I do that when other people didn't. And for me, it all came down to learning how to hack my hurdles. And you might initially think that hack is a bad thing, but hack also is slang, or it can mean managing something successfully. But I like the term hack because a hack isn't always pretty. A hack isn't always elegant or simple. But you know what? A hack works. And sometimes, all the time, done is better than perfect, right? 1% always meets 0%, or always beats 0%. And a hack that helps you overcome, get around, or muddle through a hurdle, an obstacle or a challenge, is always better than just staying put and dealing with the hurdle. And so if you visit my website, you'll see that I have Hack Your Hurdle, plain as day, under the fold on my website, because I have been working on a website redo. And I think I'm going to use that as my new tagline. And I was thinking, well, you know what? What do I want to be? I really see myself as a strategist. And there's no credentials for that I'm aware of. And I thought, you know what I am? I'm a creative life strategist. I like to look for creative ways to make life better. And I look for strategies that I can exploit in order to, make things better. So I guess you could think of me as hopefully your make things better bestie. Because while I may not have a bunch of credentials and I may not have a bunch of book learning, I am someone who's been around the block a couple times and have seen more than a few hurdles. And I've got a lot of stories because of that. And I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, which hopefully sharing those can help you spare you some. And I like to think that despite the hurdles that I faced, despite the adversity, and despite the challenges that I continue to face daily, particularly as a parent of a child with special needs who is neurodivergent and medically fragile, um, I'm still proud of my ability to face things with a practical positivity. Oh, I loathe toxic positivity. Don't blow smoke up my butt. Thanks. If you can't give me real hope, I don't want it. And so, yeah, that's what I have to offer. That's what I hope to share on this channel. Of course, there's going to be stationary stuff because you know me. I don't hoard stationery, I collect it and organize it. And you know what? Paper has absolutely been a tool and a help. Paper has been there for me when nobody else was. Maybe there's a video in that too, because there have been more than one. There's been a lot of times in my life where I didn't have a safe place to share. I didn't have a person I could trust. Um, yeah. But paper's patient, paper's cheap, paper's recyclable, so we don't have to worry about it or feel guilty. So that's, yeah, boy, I talk about a bleh. But there's just been a lot going on, and so I wanted to get you up to speed on that. And very soon, hopefully, I am going to come to some clarity, and that will help guide me to some new content. And hey, if you've watched to this part in the video and you have an opinion or something resonates with you, please let me know in the comments. What is this, the kind of content? What do you think of my line of thinking here? Does this sound like it would be something of value to you? Would you stick around or would you unsubscribe? That's certainly not going to make my decision, but I'm talking in an echo chamber here. One, because I'm literally in my closet, and two, because this is how I process. I like to verbally process, whether that be in writing on paper or just talking out loud to my husband or to you guys. So I do value your opinion. So if you have one, leave it in the comments below and I will read through them. And yeah, hopefully it'll help me sift through everything and come to some clarity. But for now, I hope everything is well for you. I hope you're having a wonderful summer or whatever season it is where you live. And I can't wait to catch up with you again shortly. Again, as always, thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.